During the Shakespearean era, Queen Elizabeth and men set forth the fashion trends. The class ranks held for the men and women determined what you would wear due to the sumptuary laws. The sumptuary laws were set by Queen Elizabeth in 1574.
The sumptuary laws outline the degree of luxury allowed to each class.
Many of the lower classes pushed the limit of the sumptuary laws by wearing similar fashions to the nobility, but more simple, and wearing hats in bright colors. They limited the colors and pieces of clothing allowed to each class. If violated, people could be arrested, fined, or even killed.
In 1580, the laws were modified to allow luxury to those who could afford it. The upper class went with more elegant and luxurious clothing. They were made of expensive velvet, silk, and satin.
The clothes were also decorated and embroidered with jewels and pearls. If you were in the upper class or the royal class, your clothes or robes were trimmed with ermine.
People of the middle class often wore clothing made out of broadcloth, linen, and cotton.
Both genders would wear undyed white linen and a ruff.
The streets were often filthy and smelled disgusting, so the women often sprayed perfume on before going out. That was very important. The lower class clothing. In this time period, the people of the lower class were mainly peasants, servants, market people, and beggars.
People of this lower class only wore one layer of clothing, or maybe two, because they could not afford the multiple layers that the upper class could.
The clothing of the lower class was mostly made of muslin and wool. They were very inexpensive fabrics, so they were easy to get.
They could not afford expensive dye, so the colors of their clothing was often dull. The colors of the era.
Clothes were also filled with colored dye, and the color showed which status because the bright and dark colors were more expensive to buy, which signified how the royal family and the wealthy would be able to purchase them.
Purple was the color of royalty and would often be seen worn by the royal family.
The color red was a symbol of blood, fashion, or power.
People who were optimistic often wore the color yellow, and that color also symbolized the sun.
Yeah, just talk slow.
Under the sumptuary...
Oh my God.
Under the sumptuary laws, people often wore white because they weren't allowed to dye their clothing. White often symbolized purity of purity of virtue.
The color black worn by some of the people in this era often symbolized death
Or like evil.
or depression.
People wearing the color pink often symbolized joy and happiness.
Gold was another color that symbolized royalty and the nobles.
People of a high degree often wore the color blue.
And that's a wrap on colors.
Hats. For the men of this time period, hats were very important, and the lower class often wore hats like this. They were called muffin caps, and they were often slanted to the side, and the taller the hat, the more important you were. So this shows, because it's small, that it was a lower class person, and probably a beggar or someone.
This is one of the tall hats that would have been worn by the wealthy class, and it would have usually had a feather on the side, and its tallness symbolized their wealth.
So we're going to show you how to do a fancy, more royal hairstyle in this era. Okay.
Okay, first I'm going to braid one side of her head.
So it's one side done.
Now I'm going to braid the other side.
L-A-N-O-R-O-U-S, yeah. G-L-A-N-O-R-O-U-S. We flying first class up in the sky, popping champagne.
Next, we're going to wait for Mr. Serpilla to bring bobby pins.
Dad, want to come in?
Here are your bobby pins, ma'am. Oh, there it is.
Thanks, Mr. Serpilla.
You are welcome.
Now I'm going to begin to wrap the hair. The finished product.
Turn around.
Yes. Wait.
Go like, yeah, bring it like around my head.
360.
Does it look okay?
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.